Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to another live stream. We are on episode 34. We have Eric here joining us live today. We're going to be talking about the one show that was on this week, just the one show. But we do have a few other topics that I have noted down, even though we don't have like as many topics as usual. I'm sure you guys have a lot of stuff that you want to talk about because this week's episode of Superman Lois was really good. Really good, and a lot of stuff to think about. So as always, please be sure to send in your questions via super chat if you want them to be answered by myself and Eric, because like I said, we will answer them straight away, and we do have some topics to go through, but we will try and get to all of your topics or questions throughout the stream. But yeah, so Eric, how did you feel about DCTV this week? I know there was only one.
What was my favorite show of the week?
Yeah,
what did I love more than the rest of them? Batwoman. Just kidding. Superman and Lois obviously was really great this week. What a really good episode to have when we didn't have any other shows on, because there was so much that happened over the course of the one episode. Like, so many mysteries, so many questions. I mean, we got some stuff answered. We have some more things that we're supposedly going to get answered later on. I was really happy with this week. You know, I gave last week's episode a 10 out of 10, I believe. And I was very close to giving this week's episode a 10. It's just really good. Like, the show's really good. And I hope that this is like a, maybe a preview to what all the upcoming DC TV shows are going to be like. That's what I hope. So.
No, I really hope that. And week by week, I'm always like, I say to everyone in real life, I'm like, you have to watch Superman Lois. Like, it's actually legit, like really good. And for a CW show, like, I love all the other Arrowverse shows, but like, it's strangely good. Like, every single week, it just doesn't let me down. And so I feel like you feel pretty similar to that. And I feel like a lot of people are pretty like equally agreeing. I haven't seen that much hate for Superman Lois, if I'm honest. I don't know about you.
There is some, but it comes from a particular group of fans. Like, the people that prefer like the Henry Cavill Superman seem to just hate the show. Because I have a theory about it too. I don't think that they hate the show because the show isn't good. I think their feelings are hurt because they want Henry Cavill to continue to be Superman in the movies, and it seems like Warner Brothers isn't interested in that, and they're pushing a lot for this Tyler Hoechlin Superman. So it's kind of like, it's almost like an unintentional hate, like they're hating on it because of that reason. I don't think all of them hate Tyler Hoechlin's Superman, but other than that, you're right. I mean, most people are very excited about the show. So
yeah, it just seems like pretty much most people, apart from, you know, the occasional Henry Cavill fan, like nothing against Henry Cavill, but you know, that's how it goes. Anyway, Gary Gammon sends in a $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Gary. Gary says, is The Flash going to air in November 2021? Well, okay, before we talk about this, I actually have something that I wanted to bring up.
Okay, all right.
Because I saw online by a pretty reliable source saying that Legends is filming their next season in July. And I'd heard that they would be filming like most of the stuff in September. But when you think about that, that doesn't make sense if they're aiming for a full release date for these shows. They normally like have at least like 2 months or
because they would be filming the upcoming season at the end of this season, parts of it, and then come back to do a little bit of it like a month out. But they're not going to have a big gap this time because all the shows are airing for so long. So I don't know, but I will say I think a November 2021 release seems plausible to me, because right now, and we talked about this a little bit last night, in my country, most of our restrictions are gone because we're at such a high vaccination rate. Like, most states are over 50% now with like the 70% like gold milestone that they say they want us to hit. They're predicting that most states will hit the 70%. So we've released like all of our restrictions. Now, I don't know what's going to be like a couple of weeks from now, but I can't imagine it's going to be any worse than what it was last year. So I don't think we're going to see anything like that. But I assume if Vancouver in Canada has a similar situation as we get closer to the fall, then I don't see how it'll impact any of the shows. And I don't think the CW wants to have another season like they did last year. I think they want everything to come out the way it should. So
yeah, Yeah, I'm fairly sure they really don't want that. I mean, I think they've been pretty adamant that they want to get back to a normal kind of schedule.
Mhm.
And even if they start in November, that's still pretty normal considering, all things considered. So, I
What the
mean,
hell? What happened?
oh,
Oh,
Eric
there we
is
go.
gone. Oh,
I
Eric is
hit I
back.
hit something on the keyboard, I think. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think November, Gary, I think that is very plausible, totally could happen. And I do think The Flash is going to go back and probably film sometime in the summer. I really doubt. Maybe Canada Grass brought it up to me. I don't know who did, but someone said that it was coming in September. They would start
yeah,
filming. I feel like that's late.
yeah. Canada Graph said that as well, but I mean, the thing is that I can't imagine in the middle of the summer when it's like super super hot that they want the actors out in the open in those costumes because it's going to be really really hot to film in those suits. But that doesn't mean that they can't do interior shots. Like if there's stuff they can get filmed from the first 2 or 3 episodes in the summer to get it out of the way, so when they come back in the fall, it's much easier to do. I can imagine that might help out with the filming process. But Canada Graph's, can you imagine him out in the summer having to like take these shots of the set? Like it's going to be super hot. I couldn't imagine it, but yeah.
Yeah,
We might
but
get
like
we
if
might
you
we might
remember,
get teasers in the middle of the summer. That might be kind of crazy. So
yeah, yeah. But if you remember, oh wait, are you talking middle of summer, like them going back in like the start of July or something? Because normally they do actually start in like mid-July, right?
yeah, but like I consider the middle of the summer to be like the beginning, the first couple of weeks in July, because
Oh,
for
okay.
us, our summer's considered June, July, August. So
Yeah, yeah,
the beginning of July would be kind of the middle of the summer for us.
yeah, yeah.
So I know it's not like it's a regional thing, I guess, for where I live. But when I say that, I'm speaking just from what I know of my area. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's still going to be really hot up there. I mean, in July. So
Oh, for sure. Like at the moment, even here in England, and the
mhm,
reputation England has, right?
right.
Always rainy, always cold. The last few days have been scorching. Like I'm walking outside and I'm like,
Because you normally have to take holidays to go like to the coast or something, right? Because it's not
yeah,
normally, yeah.
exactly. So I'm pretty sure it's going to get pretty hot in Vancouver as well. Okay, so Joseph Smith, a member of the channel, thank you very much, Joseph, sends in a $5 super chat, and Joseph says, I love Superman. It's exceeding my expectations. So Joseph seems to really like Superman and Lois. I completely agree. I know Eric agrees.
Mhm.
Eric, if you can say one thing about the show, what is your favorite thing right now?
Lois
To
Lane.
me? I knew you would say that. Go, why?
I okay, so Elizabeth is just really good in this role. We talked about this on the after party, but I'll go into it here as well.
Mhm.
Um I don't think we've seen her level of acting in the Arrowverse in a long time. I think Jesse L. Martin, Tom Cavanaugh, these actors are really, really strong in their roles, but they're not
Mhm.
leading. They're not leading characters. They're not
Yeah.
the heads of the show. Whereas I think Elizabeth, being the fact that she's splitting the show with Tyler Hoechlin and Superman, there's a lot of like heavy lifting that's placed on her character. And
Yeah.
going into the show, if you would have told me that Lois would be my favorite part of the show, I would have been like, really? I mean, she's a
Yeah.
reporter, yeah, but I couldn't imagine her being the most interesting. But the thing is, this is what separates, you see this in movies all the time too, because it's just the way it is. You can take a role that's relatively unassuming or something that people may not consider to be exciting, and if you're committed to it and you give it 100% and you're in that role, you can take that and make it someone's favorite. You can take that role and make it amazing. We've seen it happen before. I mean, there's other characters like, and I'm not using this as like a parallel to um Elizabeth's acting, but I will say in the same vein, like Emily Bet Rickards with Felicity, like she came in as a character that was just going to be a side character, but in her first appearances, she made such an impact that fans loved it, and she ended up getting a huge role out of it. So we've seen this happen before. So you can take a character that's relatively not everyone's favorite and turn it into that. And I think what Elizabeth has done with Lois is she is committing, like I said, 100%. And in her scenes, you feel the emotion. I mean, we had some heavy subject matter this week. I mean, think about what happened this week with her character. She not only found out that she was in a parallel world in a relationship with John Henry Irons, but the miscarriage that she had in her life actually went to term in another life, and they had the daughter Natalie that she was going to have here on this earth. And so she's dealing with the fact that there's a world where she didn't miscarry. And I mean, this is like, I talked about this briefly in my review, but when you look at what this episode did in terms of family and children and how it affects you, what we had in this one episode of Superman and Lois makes everything in the family stuff that with the Flash seem like pure shit.
Yeah.
Because all that kid stuff and the forces and everything, over 8 episodes, they could not achieve the emotional resonance that we got with Lois Lane in one episode. Yeah. And that was with one actor. So that's why I love Lois Lane. I think Elizabeth just lives in this role. I don't know how I'm going to see anybody else playing Lois Lane again after this. I just don't know. In just this short amount of time, she's really owned this character. That's why I love Lois Lane.
I mean, I've been echoing the same thing. And when I watched this episode, right? So I didn't watch it live. I watched it in the morning. I heard people saying, oh, like Lois is really great in this episode. And so I finally sat down to watch it. And I was watching the episode and I was like, okay, this is like some of the best acting I've seen this year. But then I had to stop and I was like, this is like some of the best acting I've seen in the Arrowverse. Yeah. Like, you're completely right. It's another level. And you're right, comparing this family stuff and, you know, the kind of the pain she goes through, it's nothing compared to like The Flash recently or any other storyline that's been similar to this. I feel like, you know, just that one scene where she's breaking down or all of the many scenes where she's with the therapist and she's talking so frankly and it feels so real. It feels like real life. It doesn't feel like it's staged or anything.
I forgot that Lois was a character. That's how good it was. So I think Bitsy Elizabeth is just fantastic, and you're right. She's easily the best Lois Lane. I'm just saying, like 100% in my mind right now. Like, anyway, so yeah, that's definitely a really, really strong point. Probably as well my favorite part of the show right now. Obviously, I love the Superman stuff because recently, whenever I see Tyler as Superman, like in action, I believe he's Superman. You know, he's freaking phenomenal, just like Lois. Although Lois is doing a lot of the heavy lifting right now, Superman, when he is Superman, he's fantastic, and I love watching it. So, you know what I think? I think a lot of it has to do with the writers being very smart about how much Superman they're giving us in the beginning, because I do think by the end of the season we'll be getting more and more Clark, more and more Superman, because the show is building up to this huge finale. That's how they all do. We complain about the fact that Barry on The Flash doesn't feel like his moments are meaningful. That's the biggest complaint I have. Is Barry, it's not that he just doesn't get a lot. It's just that what he does get is repetitive, it's boring, and it doesn't have growth for his character. So you look at what Tyler's Clark gets and what his Superman gets, even when we have episodes where he only gets moments, they matter. Like the scene with Lois where she's talking to Jonathan and she's yelling and screaming at him. In that scene, Clark is there, but he's there in the scene with those two characters. And then when their moment is done, he comes in and he fills it in by going, I'm going to go talk to Jonathan. Like it felt like a real family moment, and it mattered for Clark as a character. Something as simple as that, because it's not repetitive. And so, like when he's working outside on the car, when he's fixing the truck or the grill on the truck and the hood, and he's just having a conversation with the kids, and you see that Jonathan is feeling like an outsider, and he's there with Jordan and stuff. It's just everything is so well crafted that you don't need to give Superman the full 42 minutes. You just need to give him good scenes. And I think that matters here. And this is something I can't believe that Todd Helbing from The Flash is the showrunner for this show. I almost feel like it's two completely different people. Does it come down to budget? Is it because the budget's better? Is it because he had more control over who he wanted to hire? I mean, it really feels to me like it's a completely different creative team behind Superman and Lois than it was over at The Flash.
Yeah.
Is it maybe because they knew they made mistakes on The Flash and they thought of Superman and Lois as a way to correct some of those mistakes? I don't know. It's amazing though. And I actually love the stories with the kids, which I get a little weirded out sometimes with the CW high school drama stuff because I just find it to be unbelievable. Like in this episode, I didn't really care for the musical part of it, which by the way, I'm pretty sure you knew I was going to say that. Because I do feel like a lot of times they're like, oh, you can sing. Let's find a way to get you to sing on the show. And that's fine. It's indulgent. I get it. It's not my favorite. But I think the high school drama on Superman and Lois is even handled better than other shows.
Oh, yeah.
So
no, I agree. I think they've done the high school stuff really well. And like, okay, so my main thing going into the show is like, okay, I'm scared that they have Jonathan and Jordan. They have these teenagers because the CW is notoriously not so good with young teenagers, like kind of high school
That's
stuff.
True.
Like,
true.
You know, anyway, so we know that. But now I really like them and I like seeing them week to week. I'm not like dreading their scenes where they're separate. Also, can I mention, I really liked when Jonathan was paired with Lois. That was really good. Like, that was the pairing we haven't really seen so far.
Exactly.
What do you think of that?
I thought it was great because the thing is, when you look at what's going on in their world, right now, Jonathan is more similar to Lois than he is to Clark and Jordan because they share that like being a regular person in the family. Do I think Jonathan's always going to be regular? No, absolutely not. But I think right now he is. And the fact that Jonathan has been almost out of the 4 family members, he's been the one that's had to deal with the most change. He left his school where he was like an all-star athlete. He left all of his friends. He's watched his brother get powers and sort of become super popular. And he's defended his brother to his friends or people that he knows from Smallville that he had to like stick up for him when he wasn't even around. So giving him an episode where he gets a chance to actually bond with Lois, which again is something that we just really hadn't had a chance to see, I think was a really good way to not only give us moments with the two of them, but to dive even deeper into his character. Because I think his character with Clark and Jordan, it's kind of stuck in a certain space. So moving him over to Lois, we got a chance to see a vulnerable side of him that we hadn't seen yet. So I really enjoyed that pairing, and I hope we get more moments like that before the end of the season between him and Lois. I think it's important. So
yeah, I completely agree. Okay, let's quickly go to Gary's super chat. Thank you very much, Gary, and also sorry, but also thanks to Joseph for sending in the super chat. We talked about that at length, and we're gonna go back to Superman and Lois in just a moment after this. Gary says, "Are you mad at me? Are you proud of me? And do you?" Blah. And then he said, "Won't air until March 2021 after." I don't know. I'm not mad at you. Eric, you mad at him? No, not particularly. But thank you very much, Gary, for your support. Okay, now let's go back to Superman and Lois whilst we're on the topic. So we have this whole stuff that goes down in the episode. I'm just looking at my notes. We have John Henry Irons, his kind of big scene where potentially he was about to kill Superman. Lois stops him. And then you have him at the end of the episode sort of having like a kind of truce with Superman for now, although he's like isn't totally in for it. But I feel like, okay, let me rephrase that. Do you think he's going to return? And when he returns, do you think he's going to be still?
So first of all, I would say I would be very upset if he didn't, because I think his character is really good. I think he's another really strong character. And I think after that big reveal, having him not return would be an assault on everything good in the world.
I think
he's such a great character.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think he's going to come back. I think that they did a great job of hiding him in plain sight. They really took a character that we totally bought into as being an alternate Lex Luthor. Yeah. And they flipped it on us, and they did it in such a smart way that I felt stupid for not figuring it out. Like, I honestly was like, okay, I was really dumb. That was really stupid of me, because it was always right there in front of us. And seeing him in the suit, which we thought was a version of the Lexo suit, which was actually his creation. We saw him building it. Just all the work they put into it, introducing the daughter. It's like all these pieces being like laid out in front of us that like they really took a lot of time to think about. And then I saw a lot of people online complaining because they're like, you have this typical like, black guy that's a bad guy in a show and he's angry and how are they going to pull this off? And he's not even a bad guy. He's literally a hero who is hurt. He watched his wife get murdered by Superman on his Earth. He watched his Superman destroy buildings and kill people on his planet. So when he came over to this planet, he thought he was the hero. He thought he was doing the right thing. Yeah. And so I think it's great that they not only didn't go with the stereotype, they didn't try to do anything wild with it. They literally said, by the way, this Lex is John Henry Irons. He's Steel. He's got a badass hammer, which by the way is freaking amazing. And he is a good guy too. And we got to see him. They didn't spend a lot of time with him locked up or him dealing with the struggle or whatever. It showed that he just needed to get a lot of that out. And so I think we are going to see him come back. I think we're going to see him side with Superman to take on these other Kryptonians because you want him on your side. He's a smart character. He's got a lot of tech and he's very driven. And they eliminated the love triangle in one tiny bit of conversation with Lois where he was like, there's so many things I want to say, but you're not her. So he knows that that's not his Lois. So guess what? No love triangle, which means when he comes back, he is just there to help them as a companion, as a friend, as another hero. And I think that's important because so many times on the CW, we get these weird love triangles that make everything really awkward and stupid. And I'm so glad they're not doing that for him. He's just so well written. I can't wait for him to come back.
No, I completely agree. And you're right about that one line. Like in that one line, they just eliminated any cringe that could have happened. So, I think they are definitely setting themselves up for something great, and it's already great. But like, if he returns and when he returns, actually, I think he's gonna be awesome, and I hope he like fully suits up as Steel. That would be awesome. But yeah, that's what's going on for now. At the same time, you got Morgan Edge and his plans. They are fully going ahead. They've recruited like a bunch of people. You have. What's his name? The dad who gets mad? Sarah's dad. Kyle. Yeah. Do you think Kyle's going to eventually become one of them? Or do you think he's going to be able to because he's really obsessed and he got super upset in this episode about, Lana lying to him. It seems like he was lying. She was lying.
So, yeah. I think there's more with his story. So a lot of people have talked about how, unlikable he is. But I mean, isn't that the point of his character? I mean, I think that's the point of the character. I think he's another character where he seems really one-dimensional right now, but I think they're playing games with us. I think they're touring with us. I think what it is he seems like this one-dimensional, small-town dad, more conservative, much more into like family first type stuff, all these things. Yeah. And he's struggling. He's got his alcohol problem, and obviously there's stuff going on with him and Lana, and it's affecting his family. So he's kind of in a depressive state right now. And he feels like Lana's lying to him. And so I think he is going to act out on his own. I think he's going to approach Morgan. I think he's going to volunteer for the program. And I think he's going to get powers. And I think he's going to fight against Superman. And I think he's going to fight against. And I think what's going to happen is, and I mean, I don't think they're going to kill him off. So what I think is going to happen is he's either going to die sacrificing himself to save people, like do something.
Take down Edge.
Yes. Or he is going to become a good guy and just eventually loses powers.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what's going to happen. Because I can't see him not having some journey. I don't want him to be one-dimensional. I don't want him to go through this whole process and not get any character development because they're spending too much time on the Cushings for him to just be that one thing. So That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I could totally see that going down, and I mean that's why I wrote it down. I was like, I kind of like with him being upset, like him actually getting offered. I feel like he is going to volunteer himself, but at the same time, I get that kind of gist that he's probably going to realize at some point what Edge is doing is wrong, because right now he's just looking at the surface layer, what he's seeing from the outside. But when he realizes what's actually going on, I'm pretty sure there is some good in him.
Yeah, he's an allegory for like a certain type of American, and I almost don't even want to talk about it because I don't get super political, but he's sort of like a follower of like a person, like I don't want to say like a cult leader because that's not really what Morgan is, but he is a businessman who inspires Kyle. He makes Kyle feel like if you work hard, you can get what you want in the world or whatever. So he's to use a quote, he's drinking the Kool-Aid. Basically, he's wrapped up in this world and he believes in what Morgan is doing. So he needs to find out for himself. Like he's not going to believe anyone that tells him that Morgan's not a good person. So he needs to find out himself. So I think that's what his journey is going to be. So without getting too political, I think that's what has to happen. I think he has to discover for himself that things are not right. And so I hope that he does, because I think it's better when a character actually figures those things out on their own. I hate when we have to when it has to be spelled out for them by someone else, like sort of like with the Flash and Barry. Like Barry has to be told constantly what's right and what's wrong. And I prefer for a character to sort of just figure that out for themselves. So
yeah, me too. Okay, so now guys, let us know in the chat if you've seen Superman Lois, what did you think about that origin scene with John escaping from his planet and potentially that being the antimatter wave? So let us know in the comments right now. Tell us what you thought about that, because that scene was great, and you had black suited Superman going after him, attacking him. He obviously knows, like, he's obviously a target, right? Like, he is physically going for him. He's like battering his way in. And, I guess the main question we have here is, did he know the wave was coming? And did he know he could escape? Because he says something. I think he says like one line that's like nearly there or something, right? Is he going to some place, or is he literally going towards that wave? So I think there are a couple questions. Obviously, maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but let us know what you guys think about that. But Eric, what do you think about the crisis?
I cannot wait for the rest of that story. I feel like we need to see the other half of that. So many questions. Number one, where did the ship come from? I'm guessing it's a Lex ship. But why was he piloting it, not Lex? We still don't know what happened to that world, Lex Luthor, yet. We have, obviously their version of Clark Kent coming after him and beating on the glass, which clearly was designed to withstand a Kryptonian's power level because it was able to stop him or whatever. And if he was heading towards the antimatter wave, what was he thinking? Did he know what it was? Was he aware of it? Was this something that Lex told him about? If it wasn't the antimatter wave, what was it? Was he jumping through the multiverse? I mean, and how does he remember his Earth? Because if Crisis happened, he would have forgotten everything. So there's so many questions with that, but it's very exciting because it has to be related to Crisis. It has to be. I just don't know what the connections are yet. But that scene was great too, because that ship didn't look like anything we'd seen before. It didn't look like the Legion ship. It didn't look like anything from Supergirl. So we've never seen anything quite like that. So
yeah, and I think the main thing for me, like, obviously the Crisis connections are great, and like I can't wait to see if it's properly linked to Crisis like we all think it is. But seeing black suited Superman, evil Superman, going after him, like at this point, he is obviously known as like this Kryptonian killer, right? So he is being targeted by the evil Superman who's going after him. And like you said, his windows, they're made to withstand Kryptonian heat vision or punches or anything like that. So there is something like
I do have a theory though
in between,
All right. I do have a theory, and I haven't mentioned it anywhere before.
Yeah.
But do you want me to talk about it here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a super chat. Do you want to do the super chat first, or do you want to finish this theory first?
Let's finish this, and we'll get to Ryan's
Okay.
super chat.
All right. So in this episode, we haven't talked about it yet, but they mentioned that they were imprinting Kryptonian like people onto humans. They mentioned it at the very end of the episode, or that's how he's doing it, or something like that. My theory is that the Clark Kent Superman on his Earth was actually Zod. That he imprinted Zod, Morgan Edge imprinted Zod onto Clark Kent on that world. Because that would make sense on why Superman is doing all of these things, because it's not Superman, it's actually Zod. So I think on their world, Superman got somehow captured and imprinted on by Morgan Edge. And so on our Earth, someone else is going to get Zod's imprint. And I think it might be Kyle.
So wait, what does imprint mean again? I forgot.
So basically, he was saying that they were putting Kryptonians into the bodies of humans. At least that's the way I took away from the episode.
Kryptonians who used to live.
That's the way they made it sound on the episode, if you remember the dialogue at the end. So I'm wondering if that is the case, then if they can pull Zod, because I think Morgan Edge has access to either the Phantom Zone or some kind of technology that has like Kryptonians. Okay, so a good idea, if you think about it, is in the Fortress of Solitude, they have his father available to talk to, right?
Yeah.
I think that Morgan Edge may have the technology with other imprints of Kryptonians in them, and he's putting them into people's bodies so they can have a physical form. And I think that's why what is her what's her name now? Leslie Lar. I think that she might actually be a Kryptonian in that person's body. And when they say it doesn't take properly, it's because some people reject the imprint of the Kryptonians.
That's why they're phasing. Do you think?
Yeah, they're phasing in and out because yes. I don't think it's just speed. I think it's something else entirely. And I truly believe that the X-Kryptonite has something to do with it, and I think there might be technology to have something to do with it. So I think that would explain why Superman goes evil, because I don't think he's inherently evil. And I do think when he almost killed John, I think John was projecting that image of Superman in his mind. I don't think that was necessarily for us. I think that was just John remembering how Superman was on his Earth. That would explain why, and that would also make it so that Kyle has to struggle with control over his own body over Zod, because Zod is a very strong personality. And if Zod takes over Kyle, and he has all of his abilities as a military guy to face off against Superman, then that could be pretty crazy. So anyway, that's just my theory. I don't want to make a video about it yet because I don't have enough information, but I think by next week's episode, we will find out if they are imprinting Kryptonians into people's bodies. So
not gonna lie, I think that's a really good theory. I had not thought of it, but I like it, and I think it could turn out to be something along the lines of what we might be getting. I remembered the imprinting line, but I kind of forgot what it specifically meant. But now you say that, and I'm like, it makes sense with the phasing when they're glitching in and out of each other. It could be two personalities, two people.
Right.
Totally makes sense. And I like the Zod theory. Obviously, this version of Superman has fought and defeated Zod, or maybe he's in the Phantom Zone or something. I forgot. But that was mentioned on Supergirl because a version of Zod did show up in Supergirl's sort of when she was affected. It was in season 2. Superman was there, and he basically turned into Zod, not properly, but in her mind. So Zod does exist.
Was that foreshadowing? Was that foreshadowing to Superman and Lois?
All this time. Jeez, Superman Lois writers are amazing. Though I don't know. But yeah, no, I would really like that. Anyway, let's move on to Ryan's super chat. Thank you very much, Ryan, and thanks for waiting. He sends in a $1.99 super chat. Ryan says, when will Batwoman season 3 air? Eric, when is Batwoman season 3 airing? Was it with the announcements in the fall?
It was listed, but was there a return date?
It just
Wednesday.
Had
it was on Wednesdays, but I don't think it had a return date. So it's going to be on Wednesday nights because I have to move the after party again.
When are you going to move it to? Friday.
Thursday. Well, Friday's probably, yeah. We'll do yours on Thursday, then we'll do the after party on Friday. So,
or maybe I have to switch to Wednesday. Actually, wait, that doesn't make sense.
Well, it could, because you're not going to be watching Batwoman, so it doesn't matter if you switch to Wednesday or not.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I switch to Wednesday. You guys take the Thursday. Oh no, but you're gonna be you'll be doing videos on Thursday.
No, I can still do a live stream.
Oh no, you can do a live stream. Anyway, I'm just thinking I can't make sense of this. Anyway, Batwoman is supposed to come back on a Wednesday instead of its normal Sunday date, which I believe it's still at.
Yeah.
So we're not 100% sure like the exact release date, Ryan, but we know that it is coming in the fall, which generally
on Wednesdays.
Yeah. It generally means normally October, but possibly this year it could mean it comes back in November on Wednesdays. But yeah. So let's move on from this. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Super chat some questions, guys. You can change the conversation. Super chat
Exactly.
questions for us.
So if you have anything you want to talk about, send them in via super chats, and we will be sure to answer them. But I wanted to bring up The Flash because we haven't really talked about The Flash. Okay. Obviously, The Flash wasn't on this week. We had a week's break. I actually kind of forgot we had a break, like, at first. Like, after last week's episode, I was like, oh, shit, we don't have one this week. Just like a few days before. But, yeah, The Flash is back next week, and this is Cisco's episode that's going to be happening. Really looking forward to it. Obviously, it's going to be a shame that Cisco's leaving, but I don't know. I feel like it's a long time coming, and it should be pretty good, maybe. I don't know. What do you think, Eric?
I don't know when we talked about this before, but I've felt like Carlos has been dialing it in for a couple seasons. I mean, not that he's bad. I think he's still great on the show. It just doesn't feel like he's totally committed anymore, and I think he wanted to leave at the end of, like, the season before last. So I do believe that he stuck around and he's just not been happy, and you can kind of see it. And as much as I would hate to see Cisco leave the show, the energy and the joy in his character just hasn't been there. And I think maybe for Carlos, it's better for him mentally and emotionally, if he's not happy there, to say, you know what, maybe I'll come back, and do some stuff here and there. But for me now, I need to go away, and that's fine. I quite like Chester. I think Chester's going to fill in the spot that Cisco was in. Is it going to be a different dynamic? Yes, but all the shows change, every few seasons. And, I mean, here's the thing. We thought the show couldn't. We thought that Tom Cavanaugh would be noticeably gone without having a Wells. But, I mean, I love Tom Cavanaugh. I love Wells. I love the Eobard character. I love all those characters. But, I mean, even with all the stuff we haven't liked right now, I really haven't thought much about him not being there. And so I think at the end of the day, there are certain characters that if they leave, yes, it's going to be a hole in the show. But I also feel like if they don't want to be there, then I don't think they bring the wrong vibe to the series, So it's going to be sad to see him go. But I think having him go, if he's ready to go, is the right thing to do. So.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, I feel the same. Like, I miss Wells, but I don't always think about it, Like, when he shows up, it's nice. And, anyway, I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing. Wouldn't you rather him come back for like a 2-episode story where he's happy to be there instead of being stuck there all season? So that's kind of how I feel about it.
He's going to be more committed to that like 2-episode thing because he's taking his time out. He's going to be back. He's got 2 episodes, which is like, I don't know, just over 2 weeks of filming or something. And so he will be properly committed. So I think you're right about that. Like, maybe that would be like a better circumstance for him, for us, and for everyone, Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. And I saw some quotes from Carlos about leaving the show. Did you see some of those articles? I think Paigey touched on it. Like, I think he did a video today.
What specifically in the article were you talking about?
It was about like the way that Cisco goes out. I haven't actually read the article, but I knew the headline was like, Cisco is going to go out like on a light note or like a funny note or something.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. I don't think Carlos leaving the show or Cisco leaving the show in a super dark, gloomy way is the way of the character. I think him leaving with a lightheartedness to it makes more sense to me, and it just means that it'll feel better when he comes back. Because there's so many characters that leave and they're in a dark place, and you're like, do I want them to even come back because it seems so dreary and dark? I think if Cisco leaves and it's in a good place, then when he comes back, we'll be expecting fun and excitement and not necessarily dealing with any baggage. So hopefully that's what they mean. He's leaving without any baggage, and then he's just going to be free to go and be able to come back when he wants. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like what they meant. I think in terms of like him being funny, he's always been funny. In terms of lighthearted, he's always been one of the most lighthearted characters, always cracking jokes. I think the time recently that he's most been like his season 1 self was, for me, was in that Chester episode, because he was just having a lot of fun. It seemed like everyone was having a lot of fun in that episode. And it was just really nice to see, because you're right. I do think maybe he's been dialing it a bit back for quite a while now. So, yeah. Okay. Jordan Arna sends in a $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Jordan. He says, "Did you see the new Shazam suit?"
No, I have not.
I have not.
Look it up on Twitter. See if you can find a picture of it.
Yeah. I'm looking it up.
I quite liked the Shazam suit from the first movie. So
Me too. I thought it was pretty good. Oh my god, I just saw it. Should I put
is that
it
a
up?
good? Yeah. Well, I mean, why not?
Yeah. Wow. It is quite different.
You're not going to do a whole video on it, right? So I mean, if not, then we can just talk about it here.
Oh crap, that was Pagey. Okay, here we go. Wow, look at that. What'd you think?
Oh my god. Maybe it's because there's no cape, but it looks kind of weird.
Yeah, it looks kind of weird.
What is weird about it to me? I think the lightning bolt is too high. I feel like it needs to be down a little bit lower off the neck.
Small for his body, maybe.
Yeah, but it comes all the way up here. Was the old one like that? Hold on, let me see. Old Sam suit movie. Let's see.
Shazam.
Yeah, the other one was like that, but it had a border around it. That's why. It's got like a border around it. That's what makes it look. It is bigger.
Yeah.
It's bigger and it has a border around it.
Yeah, this one.
Why change it? That one's so good. What is the other one?
So
oh no, it's
difference?
so it looks to me like
border.
It does, but not at the top. At least where I can, like, if you look at the top, it doesn't look like the border goes all the way to the top.
And there's going to be a CGI cape here, right? I presume.
Yeah, go back to the other. Does the other one have little clips on it? Yeah, so the clips on the side are the same. They're bigger though, where the cape is. Like they're bigger.
Yeah.
The gauntlets don't look as good. I prefer the gauntlets on the old suit. I don't like those. The texture on it is very different as well.
It looks like it's actually like patterned rather than just textured.
Yeah, and it also makes it look like there's more of his real muscle in the suit than it was in the other one, because the other one had a lot of muscle padding.
Yeah, I think overall,
this is over designed for me. This is over designed. I think it's too much. It was very simple. The other one was so much better. It was simple.
Yeah, the other one was really simple, and some people didn't like that, but I really liked it. And I've got to agree, maybe something slightly is off with this, and maybe it is like the over design. I think
wait a minute. No. I see what it is. The other one was a perfect triangle, and the bolt was in the center. This one is off center because it does not become to a perfect triangle. That's why it looks weird.
I see.
It's like off. Yeah. I don't like that. That's what it is.
Wait, let me look. The other one is different as well, because this is like a proper 90 degrees angle, but on the other one, it's like an actual lightning bolt. It goes down.
This one looks like them trying.
Doesn't look like a lightning bolt, apart from.
You know what? I like MCU suits, but this looks like they're trying to copy like the Marvel suits for some reason, like the way they're doing it, because it looks very like almost tech, and that's the way Marvel goes, is the more tech looking stuff. I don't know if I like it for this. This might also be to be more in line with Black Adam's costume.
Yeah, I think that is probably like one of their main things, so that they can kind of match up their costumes. I'm gonna be honest. I think I actually like the texture. I think it's pretty cool. However, I agree. The lightning bolt weird, looks really weird. Also find it weird.
I would probably be okay with the rest of this if the lightning bolt were the same.
Yeah,
if the lightning bolt was the same as the other one, I think I'd be okay with most of this.
I agree. And also, why isn't the cape there? Like, I get that they can CGI on him, but
the other cape was cloth. Why didn't they just use the same cape from the first one?
Yeah,
it's got the hoodie on it and everything.
Exactly, and maybe just maybe, like in this one scene, like he has it unclipped, and like maybe they'll film at some points of it. I don't know, but that doesn't make sense.
It could be a scene because look behind him. It looks like he's attached to something. Maybe it's a scene where he's flying and they're going to CGI the cape.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because he is on wires here. You can tell. He has a wire attached to his ass.
Yeah. So I think it's a flying scene. That's probably why the cape's not on it.
Yeah. So maybe it'll look better with the cape. Maybe it just looks a bit weird.
Maybe I don't know. I hate the logo on the chest. I wish it was like the other one.
Now I've seen the logo, I'm like, oof, that's not a lightning bolt. That's like
one side of it is stylized and the other side is like not. It's a complete 90-degree angle. It's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, it looks like if you look at it sideways, it looks like a transformer or something. It's really weird.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a bit weird, but I will have to admit, I do actually like the gauntlets. I actually do, and I like this belt. I think it's
I like
cool.
the belt. I like the belt better than the other one. I think I like the other gauntlets better because they were. So I like the classic design of Captain Marvel or Shazam. So I like the first suit because I think it was closer to like the classic suit. This one is more modern. I give them that. I think the logo is the one thing that I'll never change my mind on. The rest of it I'm okay with, I guess.
Yeah. No, I get that. And this one you could see him like going toe to toe with like Superman or Batman or something like that. It's more in line with
Have you heard the theories about what they're going to do with him?
No.
The theory is, since they're not going to be using Henry Cavill, he's going to be like the main hero of the Justice League. Like he's going to fill in the Superman role. That might be why they redesigned the suit to make him look more modern.
I wouldn't be opposed to that, because I really do like Shazam, and I really do like Zachary Levi, and I love the character in the comics. So I'm not opposed to it. Okay, let's move on, and maybe we can get back to this if anyone else.
Okay, so rest of the suit is okay. Logo is not.
We're in agreement there. And so if any of you guys have anything else you want to add in regards to like Shazam and what you think of this suit compared to the other suit, please be sure to send in your super chat if you have a question, or you can mention it in the chat and we'll try and get to it. But we're just going to go through a couple of super chats that have been sent in whilst we were talking. Max Plays sends in a $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Max. He says, did anything surprise you both this week? So in regards to Superman Lois, what surprised you? Well, for me, I think the fact that it was so impactful, those scenes with Lois, that really did surprise me. I was like, wow, this is not CW stuff at all. Anything surprise you, Eric?
The 7734 stuff in the base, like when they said that they had all this tech they designed just to stop Superman. I was actually kind of shocked. I mean, I knew they might have some contingency plans, but they had a whole floor basically designed to stop Superman. So I was kind of surprised that they had come so far in that with that synthetic kryptonite. So
yeah, they've really come far with that. However, I will say that I was expecting that, so I don't think that would have been like the biggest thing for me. Although it was awesome to see it like in action and actually go down into the 7734. Is that what it is? 7734. Cool code name hell. When that first came up, I was like, whoa, in those early episodes. But thank you very much, Max. That's our kind of thoughts on Superman Lois this week, because that was the only show. Okay, Ryan sends in a $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Ryan. He says, why are they filming it 2 years before its release date of June 2023? I I don't remember the release date, but I'm going to trust you on that release date, Ryan. But this would have been, if they are filming now, it's definitely because, they were supposed to film. They were very delayed in filming. And also, there's a different thing for Shazam. The actors are now like 20, right? Where they were like 16, 17 when they filmed the first Shazam. So they're literally on like a race with time. They don't have long to keep these kids looking like kids, right? I reckon for Shazam, like the actual, like Billy Batson himself, I reckon they have like not even 10 years. I don't think they can make him stay young for that long, right? Because it's literal aging. So in 10 years' time, Billy Batson, I believe the actor is actually 20 now, Asher. So he will be 30 in 10 years. So if they want to do like a bunch of sequels, they're going to have to age up Shazam. And I think for now they want to keep him as a teenager.
And I'm looking at pictures of him. He's actually looking much older, which they're not going to have much time to keep him.
Exactly. So there is like a time factor. So I'm not sure about Shazam 2's release date, but there is definitely a precedent like in time.
Actually, you would probably know about this. I think that the movie got pushed back and they just didn't change the filming schedule. That's probably what it was, I think. Like, I think they had a set date. Because you have to think, like, if you are an actor and you're like, okay, I'm working on this movie from, May to August, and then you have another movie you're going to be working on from September to November or something like that, they can't change that because then they would screw up your next project. And those are contracts. So you can't really do anything about that. So they're filming it because they have to, basically.
Yeah, 100%. And I did just look it up, and it does look like it's going to be coming out in 2023. So yeah, it's going to be a while. It's going to be like 2 years, pretty much bang on. Right now,
we'll get Black Adam, and then we have to wait another year a year and a half before we get the next Shazam movie.
Exactly. So I mean, we're not going to be starved for like Shazam content. Obviously, if you read comics, there's a new Shazam comic, like a proper run just for himself, that's starting very soon. You guys can read that. Black Adam is coming out in the meantime. So that is heavily Shazam related, like, 100%. And they are building up to that eventual Shazam Black Adam fight whenever that happens. But Cody sends in a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Cody. He says they could film this and 3 back to back. I mean, I don't think that's out the window, to be honest, because like we said, they do have a thing for time, right? And lots of big films recently have been filming back to back. The new Mission Impossible, I think, filmed back to back. Like the next 2. So I don't see
Black Lightning was supposed to film back to back, and they just didn't do it. But yeah, it's like it happens. It can be a thing.
Exactly.
Lord of the Rings filmed a lot of it back to back. So
yeah, it happens, and maybe they will do that. It depends on like, is the screenplay there? Are they ready, like, straight away or like a couple months later to start filming? Because obviously doing a whole film production takes a whole lot of effort. Like, it takes months and months and months. And if they want to do 2 whole films back to back, they got to prepare for that. And we'll have to wait and see. I don't think they're going to film like straight away after they finish, but maybe in like the next year and a bit, because they're still pushing it if they keep on going with time. So like you said, Eric, I mean, the actor is my age now. I'm pretty sure we're born in the same year, even though when the film came out, he looked so much younger, which was weird.
Which is why now that he looks so much older, that's a problem for them.
Yeah. So they do have that problem. But Joseph Smith sends in another super chat. Thank you very much, Joseph, and thanks for being a member. He sends in a $5 super chat. He says, the only thing I know about Shazam is he's really a boy, except when he says a magic spell. So, yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums up the basis of Shazam. He says Shazam.
There's so much history about that character and the lineage of that of the Captain Marvel character. It's just a lot. It is a lot. But yeah, I mean, on the surface, this is what it is. He's a kid that gets turns into Superman, basically. So
yeah, surface layer kid turns into a freaking dense dude with magical powers. You got Shazam, surface layer, right?
mhm.
Obviously, there's a lot more to it. But yeah, that's kind of legit, Joseph. And thank you very much. A 150 super chat. Oh, my stream is glitching. Okay, I'm back. So thank you very much, Tom, for the support. Yeah, Tom is also a member as well. So thanks, Tom. Okay, so anything else? So anything else in regards to Shazam? Because we've been mainly talking about Shazam.
I think people are excited because they just released the pictures of the suit. I think that's what it was.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I love Shazam. I think Shazam is I always want him to have a really good fight. There's a lot of animated fights between Shazam and Superman. The thing that always gets me is Superman always tricks him into saying his name somehow, and it makes me kind of angry because Shazam for me is a character that is he's magic based, so there's no reason why Superman should get the edge up on him most of the time. Because their powers are pretty evenly matched. It just really depends on the writing. But I would love to see like a Superman versus Shazam movie. I think that would be cool. And don't make him say his name. That's all I gotta say. Don't do that, please.
Yeah. And I mean, it's supposedly, right? Supposedly for Kryptonians, magic is one of their weaknesses. So technically, Shazam should beat Superman up, right? And Superman should have real big struggles fighting Black Adam whenever he fights Black Adam. But you know, it depends on each project. But yeah, there's some great animated stuff with Shazam, and you know, I really like him in Young Justice and the brief like appearances he makes. He's really cool. There was that like short animation film they did. I don't know if you saw that. I think it was like Superman Shazam. I forgot what it was called. Anyway, it was like a showcase, and it was really, really good. So
he's fought him so many times in animation, so I just love it. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that, and I mean, it's going to be a while, but we got Black Adam. Super excited for that. Want to see what they do. I think they're going to make Black Adam more of an anti-hero. Do you believe? Because like,
yeah, they're supposed. I think what's going to happen is we're going to see him as an oppressed individual in his world, in his land, and he's going to rise up and like liberate,
be a hero or something.
That's what. Yeah, and I think that is going to lead into him becoming like an anti-hero. Like he's going to be very selfish at some point, and that'll be what leads him to face off against Shazam. Probably, that's what I think.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. But anyway, guys, as we head towards the end of the live stream, please be sure to send in your final super chats if you have any burning questions or ideas you want me and Eric to talk about as we head towards the hour mark. But just for now, final thoughts. The Flash Cisco episode. We're also getting Rainbow Raider. Any thoughts on that? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of like,
I don't know. You know, I just hope it's done well. I'm just glad we're done with the Forces storyline. I really wasn't happy with it, and people ask me why I was so hard on it, and I gave it plenty of time to actually change, to flip it up, and it just never got any better. And so it really sucks because at the end of last season, I was kind of frustrated with the storyline, but it wasn't bad. It just wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. And we got the amazing wrap up. I gave one of the episodes a 10 out of 10 at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And then we jump into this Forces storyline, and I'm like, can it just end sometime soon?
Yeah.
So Rainbow Raider, it doesn't matter if they bring back, you know, the weather wizard or whatever, weather witch, whatever you want to call her. Anybody, anyone else, just none of this Force stuff. It's just not the good stuff for me. So
Eric, you're like, bring me anything but the Speed Force.
Bring me Zoom. Bring me Savitar. Yeah. Bring me Savitar. I would even take Cicada back over this.
That is saying a lot.
I mean, do you disagree? I think the Cicada storyline was better.
No, I agree. I would take Cicada over it, but I would not.
There were elements of the Thinker. I don't. To me, the Thinker storyline and this one were equally not interesting.
Yeah.
I just didn't find them interesting.
Yeah.
The Thinker started out really interesting, and then it just went crazy. And I'm like, jumping from body to body and stuff, just stupid. So
yeah, it was stupid. But yeah,
The Thinker is a good example of them not having enough content for the big bad. That should have been like a 8 or 9 episode story arc. So
yeah, it was way too stretched out, and it didn't really work. What are you gonna do? But the Flash is back on this week, guys. So obviously, me and Eric, we're gonna have our reviews up after the episode airs. Superman and Lois will also be on, so check out our reviews. They normally come out after our Flash reviews. So be on the lookout for those. Eric's channel is going to be linked in the description below.
So by the way, before you completely take us out, apparently Candace posted something on Instagram about the show ending or something like that.
What? Let's have a look.
It's a really random thing. Like if you go to her page, go to her story, and you go about 5 things in, she says, ask her questions, and somebody goes, are you sad that the show is ending? And she says, everything must end at some point. All we can do is have gratitude. I don't know if that's her confirming it or if that's just her speaking generally. Because I don't think she would.
Are you sad that? Okay, I'm going to pop this up.
I think to me it's just her speaking generally, but because I don't think the network would want her to confirm that.
Yeah, and there was also this thing recently. So this is the thing. Ask me a question, I'll answer it. I said that the show is ending, and I don't know. Someone got that from the leaks recently. You know, the fake ones. And so she says everything must end at some point, or we can do. I think she's just like generically commenting.
That's what I think. Yeah. Because the thing is, she didn't confirm it. She just said everything must end at some point.
Yeah.
She didn't say everything that I'm sad that it's ending next season or whatever. She didn't say that. So I don't think that was a confirmation.
Yeah, I don't think it's confirmation, and also, but there is one thing. Apparently, recently, the actor that plays, was it Camilla? I don't know. Anyway, an actor on the show was also questioned at like a fan convention that was on, I think, in like New Zealand or somewhere. I was told about this, and apparently they were asked a question about the show ending, and they said something similar to that. So I don't think there's any credence. I think they were both like answering generically.
Yeah.
But
I'm always like, wait till the studio release. Like when it comes to a show ending, I feel like I need to hear it from the studio.
But also, why would they announce the show is ending right now when they have a whole other season, right?
They wouldn't. They would announce it closer to the beginning of the season. Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't do it now.
And on
top of that,
I don't think it's going to end.
I don't think so either. But I mean, if it does end, it will be because Grant doesn't want to do it anymore.
Exactly.
That's the only way the show would end.
Like stop right like this instant, you know?
Yeah.
He did mention 9. Maybe it doesn't happen, but I think there is a possibility, like a pretty strong possibility that it does happen. Maybe like a few more regulars leave. Maybe I don't know. Would the show end if Candace leaves?
Yeah.
You do think?
Yeah. If the show has it's dug its feet into the idea of Iris being such a prevalent part of it, that I can't imagine them continuing the show without Iris. And I don't think they'd recast her either because Candace has too big of a following and she's been on the show too long. So
that would be terrible. Like I would be totally against that.
The only thing is if the Flash goes, it will crumble a lot of the Arrowverse with it because of the fact that it's kind of been after Arrow's gone, it's been like the foundation for everything.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a world where I can't imagine a world where the Flash is in it and we don't see him doing stuff. That doesn't make any sense to me. So
anyway, that's about it for this stream, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in throughout the live stream. If you did miss anything, you can go back and watch it on playback. It's going to be up after we finish this. Also, remember, guys, you can become a member of the channel if you want to join us for our monthly member Zoom calls. We've done like 3 of those so far. They're really cool. A bunch of the members, we just join a Zoom call, we chat, we talk about everything, and it's great fun. So click the join button if you want to become a member. Also, remember to go check out Eric's channel. Link's going to be in the description below. He's going to be posting his reviews for The Flash, Superman, Lois this week, and
my Black Lightning season overview is coming out tomorrow. So if you watched all of this season of Black Lightning, that'll be out tomorrow.
Well, shouldn't it be a series overview?
Yeah, it could be. I do talk a little bit about the series, but it's mostly just for the season. So
okay, well,
I could do a series overview. Just stop giving me ideas. I have enough stuff I have to do anyway. So.
I know. But yeah, so we'll catch you guys later, and goodbye.